What's up, everybody? I'm Walter. Welcome to Fun in the Country Basement. And we can see no evil, but evil. Hear no evil.
Speak no evil either.
Speak no evil.
Yeah, I almost had the whole introduction thing done. I forgot to take the black background out. But hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Fun in the Country Basement for October 20th, 2019. Chris will not be joining us today. He is under the earth weather. He ended up getting sick coming back from earth and hasn't recovered yet. I don't know if it's Kuntry or if he's got a legitimate flu. But instead today, we have a couple of guests.
You got Ron, the Happy Extruder, coming back from Earth, really motivated. So many amazing things. Can't wait to share them with you today.
And it's just Shane.
It's not Shane from P.O. Poly now?
Well, no, because I wanted to.
You just want to be you?
I wanted to be me.
Okay.
I just wanted to be me. They're like, are you sure? I'm like, no, I'm not going to get the tattoo. Yeah, for those of you guys who don't know, it was announced today by P.O. Poly that I'll be working for them doing community-based support for the Moai, the Phenom, and a few other things. So I'm still around the 3D printing community, so you guys will still see me. And for those of you who are wishing me happy birthday, thank you very much. And
hey, you stole my thunder. I was fixing to wish you a happy birthday.
And
now I'm not.
Sing happy birthday.
Yeah,
Now
that you can no longer get demonetized for it, apparently.
Really?
Well, somebody told me.
I was going to sing the special one.
The one that, like, at Chili's, like, happy birthday to you.
No. No, that happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Mr. P.O. Poly Support. Happy birthday to you.
Pooch said Shane looks amazing for being 77. All right, Walter, you haven't done an intro yet. Do your intro.
Hi, I'm Walter from Kuntry 3D, and I am still on an earth hangover. It's kind of just kind of bleh since earth. Not sick like Chris Riley, but I am definitely not on the energy train yet. So we will see how we get through this. I'm hoping that we're going to not turn it into, but have a little earth recap here so we can do an earth dump in this stream.
Yeah, I'm fine with talking about earth. There's a lot of
there was a lot of cool things we saw at earth. I mean, it's really weird, you know. Glenn's got these two awesome guys that are close to him, and I know they live apart. But it's really hard here because my wife didn't go, so we don't get to talk about anything that I saw at Earth. And it's like, okay, so I just get to hold it all in.
You talk by yourself about Earth.
Now, wait a minute. You guys need to understand that Shane lives like 15 minutes from me, and then 15 minutes more than that is where Happy lives. This is the first time I have ever seen Ron locally. Otherwise, the next closest place is Orlando Maker Fair. In the 2.5 years that I've been doing this, right? Well, that's about the equal distance, I guess. But yeah, so yeah, this is the first time that we've been. I mean, he's never been here before. This is the first time we've seen each other outside of a Maker Fair or other event. I mean, the first time we met, we flew all the way to New York.
Yep, that's right. That's where I met him too. That's right.
And see, I think the first time I met both of y'all was at Gainesville Maker Fair.
Gainesville, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first year.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That was when I was in the hotel and I was tweeting back and forth with Shom, and come to find out he was in the room next to me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
in the hotel.
Yeah, I remember when you'd come in and started setting up, I looked at my wife and I'm like, who the heck is this guy? Let's get him out of here.
He looks suspicious.
He's got some weird country accent. Bob S. said, hi, y'all from Disney. Dang, it's hot here. It is hot here. It's really hot today. Yeah. Oh, there's a
really? That was one thing. That was one thing I was going to talk about. I got to cut my air conditioners off in here. It's 65 degrees outside today.
Oh, nice.
So Pooch said, hey, Fun King 3D, do you realize you're the only one on the stream there that doesn't have a rep box? But
Oh,
Pooch already knows that we're taking care of that. I've already sent my artwork in. I just got to send him a little cheddar, and I'm hoping to have that thing before Orlando Maker Fair.
dude, I love them. I mean, I first saw it when Pooch made a custom one for Prusa, and he brought it in and everything else. And he's like, "Hey man, would you mind?" I'm like, "Yeah, I can get that thing to work, no problem." I set it up with the MMU2. There was not one problem, and I'm not like shilling for Pooch or anything else, but
I always show for Pooch.
the thing worked perfectly to the point where I'm like, I need one of those. So I placed an order for myself, but I made sure that no one knew about it. I didn't send them a message or anything else. I just wanted a regular thing.
Right.
Love the thing. Works awesome.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the custom ends on it.
And I also want to get this out there for those that wasn't at Earth. I want to thank Pooch at Repcord for helping us give away a rep box along with the mosaic palette that we gave away on Sunday.
Yeah, I was actually going to say my favorite thing of all of Earth were those 3 guys that gave away like what, $2,000 in prizes?
Yep.
For no reason,
dude. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, and I told Regina this. I said, you know what? We were money negative for this show, you, I, and Chris. But just the looks on the people's faces that won stuff was awesome.
Oh, yeah. Well, and then the fact
was
that
amazing.
it was, Maker Jake that won the printer was really exciting. Anytime the kids win anything, that's always really exciting.
Oh yeah. Well, the guy that won the palette, I talked to him. I talked to him later on. He was 17 years old, and he doesn't have a Twitter, so he hadn't copied us on Twitter.
Right.
So that's okay. But I was glad to see both of the main prizes go to young makers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Not some old fart like me that's got 11 printers or something,
You guys actually made it interesting with the scavenger hunt and everyone getting their little stamps. That was very creative.
That was actually an impromptu last year's Earth. Like we were trying to figure out how to give something away, and it just came about. And what really works out well is it made people go to every table. Looking for that stamp, they would literally walk around going, "Do you have the stamp? Do you have this?" So they actually interacted with every table in there.
Well, last year everyone kept coming up. They're like, "Do you have the stamp?" I'm like, "What stamp?" Like the stamp. I'm like, "What stamp are you talking about? What stamp?" Because everyone just kept coming over because they figured like, "Oh yeah, Shane must have one because whatever he hangs out, whatever." And I'm like, I'm being driven crazy because I don't know what the heck anyone.
Well, and at Murph we had a guy that had he had the Facebook thumbs up stamp that he was just. Like he just had it on his table, and people were showing up going, "Do you have the stamp?" And he's like, "I have that stamp." And they're like, "Okay." And they were stamped. So also we're getting cards back with this, and I'm like, "That's not my stamp. My stamp are all these goofy, these emojis and stuff." I'm like, "That's not my stamp." So I had to go on my own because, like, I'd say to people, "Where'd you get that?" "I don't know, over there."
Somewhere over there.
Somewhere over there. Somebody say, "Oh, it was over there." Like, so I had to go through the whole show until I found somebody with a Facebook stamp. Yeah,
it was cool. I was standing over by Martin 3D Iceland's table, and he had the landscaping 3D printed landscapes. And someone came up and said, "Do you have a stamp?" And what is these? What are these things? So it interacted. You get a stamp and you visit a table. It actually worked out pretty good. It
draws the people in, and that's really the goal. And then I love telling the people that like they would go, "Well, do I put my name on here?" I'm like, "Nope. I don't want your name. I don't want your email address. We're not marketing. I don't want." And they're like, "Really?"
Zero data.
Yeah. The only downside is the fact that we make the people be present to win.
But that's fair though.
Well, because shipping is so expensive, and we're already paying for the prizes. So I mean, some of them were donated. So, and of course we.
Well, and you're right though. I mean, and when somebody gives you something like a palette or a rep box or a printer, you can't say, "Well, will you ship this when the winner wins it?" You're like, you can't do that.
No. I mean, you figure between the palette and the rep box, that was what, like $750 worth of stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a massive prize.
Yeah.
So
I don't know how much is the palette too.
It's like $500, isn't it?
I think so. It depends where you go because some places have it on sale or anything else.
I have Google right here. I'll just ask it.
Well, actually, wait.
Okay.
Pooch should be boom. This is how much it is on my store. Here's the address. Let's go.
Hey, I will tell y'all, there's a couple of people in the live stream.
Deal with it.
John Strand just jumped in the live stream. I got to meet John Strand Thursday night. He gave me I got you.
Yeah, we didn't give away the
John Strand also donated an A8 plus for our high school engineering team to put together. And I've already talked to the teacher. We've got to go through getting the video releases from the kids in the robotics group, and that's pretty much that. And then we'll get to put it together.
Film them and blur their faces out. So
well, that's what I told her. I said, well, the ones we can't get, I'll have to go back and blur their faces or whatever, you know. And not only that, I met John Strand Thursday evening. He came and met me at Sonny's. We had a high school football game in Gainesville. Not only that, this week, I think it is today. Yeah, I think he said 4 hours earlier. Old curmudgeon is leaving out of Tennessee and coming south to Tallahassee to work for the week. So I get to meet him sometime this week for supper. So, and I don't know about y'all. I like it when I meet people. I like it when I meet people from YouTube. I really do.
You're so nice, Walter. When people contact me and they're like, "Hey, can I meet you?" I'm like, "Nope."
But I drove all this way. Don't care. But I'm from California. Don't care.
It's not true. I just have to make sure that they have enough likes on social media before I let them come over. That's why. That's why it took so long to let Javi come over. Not enough people knew who he was yet.
Yeah.
No, see,
can I come over now? No, not yet.
No.
Not yet. 20 more. 20
I'm like,
more.
where's your subscriber count? Oh no, you can't come visit yet.
My quotas. I got 19.
Hey, I don't worry about that. That hump at the bottom of my back is not a battery for a pacemaker.
Oh God. John Strand said he'll meet me in Orlando. Well, you'll meet Happy on too. The guys from 3D Gloop will be there. Sholm from Skewed View 3D will be there. As I understand it, Prusia is supposed to be coming, but
that's what I've heard. I know Mark Stoltz. Sorry. He's their new community guy, and he's
their new Shane.
There's only one.
Oh.
Really?
Almost.
I'll walk off the set right now. No, but he's the new community guy. He's trying to bring a lot of attention to Prusa Printers, so .org. So he's going to be there, and the Prusa said they were both going to be there. I'm not sure if it's Joe or if it'll be the Holy Three. They're already there.
It's just they came on board so late. I don't know.
That's the thing.
I mean, they have the checkbook that they can make it happen.
I don't know. It must be nice to have money like that, you know?
We'll be in the air-conditioned building for sure.
Well, we were.
Thank you.
We had a good time. I requested that we all still be grouped together and that we're in the same. I told him I wanted the same spot again this year because that spot was perfect for me when I got nailed by that migraine headache.
Oh, that'd be so funny. All of a sudden you get that. I'm like, all right, I'm at my spot. Oh, I'm sorry. The Prusas are there. You're over there.
You're in the non-air conditioned building. I'd have to trip him when he's walking around.
It was a good spot.
Oh, Sean was here. Hey, Sean. He said he made the same request. Yeah, that was a wonderful place to be. So there was a lot of room. Like, I mean, the way that I set my booth up, I still had like 6 or 8 feet behind it.
We had a little divider, right?
Yeah, and my wall. Yeah, my curtain.
Well, whenever I would work the Miami shows, they would have people from Orlando come down, and everyone's like, "You need to be at Orlando." I'm like, I know.
It's a huge maker fair. People don't realize.
No, but that's
a huge maker
actually
fair.
Broke records last
year. Yeah, and they're saying almost double this year.
Wow.
That it's going to be double.
That's going to be awesome.
But I gave out like 15.
What are you chuckling about, Walter?
Little toys.
I'm laughing at old curmudgeon because I was trying to figure out what he was talking about with his comment, but then I got it, and I'm like, okay, cool. At least we'll be standing on the same grounds.
So yeah, and then I'm making Shane show up for Orlando Maker Fair. I'm gonna put him to work.
When is the date of Orlando Maker Fair? What are the dates?
10th and 11th.
Yes.
Yeah, I keep thinking it's the 12th and 13th, but I think that's last year.
It's right around the corner. You got your whistles?
It's got to be the 9th and 10th, not the 10th and 11th of November.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm doing whistles.
Yeah.
Rockets and everything. I'm gonna give away whistles.
Well, it was funny. I was asking.
I'm pulling it up now.
I will not be able to make it.
Oh yeah, Sholm said 9 and 10.
I was going to try to make it and talk my wife into going to Disney World while I went over there, but that is the competition for my daughter.
Oh, whatever.
And no, we do. We have the marching. The last competition that she stayed.
No, wait a minute.
on. Wait. I went to Earth during the last one. I can't miss another one.
You did mention that last time.
But how old is your daughter now?
17.
So for 17 years, you've put up with her recitals and plays. You know, you've only been doing
but here's the thing.
Where's your commitment?
Here's the thing, though. She is the baby of 4. She has put up with a hell of a lot more going to her sister's things than we have going to hers. Oh, and I need to say this, Clint. Oh, go ahead.
John
Clint,
says family comes first. No, we're doing that thing like on the news.
Right. Clint, I did get your email. I responded. Thank you. There you go.
Yeah, of course, family comes first, John. I mean, my whole entire channel is based on my family being here with me. So
I gotta
save on the spot. I definitely got some on my table as well for Poppy.
do you have helpers?
Yeah, I have 2 helpers coming. Plus, Poppy's coming.
Oh, you have him as a helper?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're gonna make a 78-year-old guy work?
No, but
You made him drive.
All right, so let's
drive.
Hey, Glenn, let's do this.
Poppy, you okay? You sure you can drive? Okay.
I'm the bad guy now. No,
Let's do this.
He came last.
Let's go down. Let's give our number ones from Earth. Our number one takeaway from Earth. That way we can do it one at a time and we don't interrupt each other. So
the only thing is, if I give away my number one, it's going to ruin my Earth recap video.
okay, so give your number 2.
Oh, you want me to give you a number 2? Here's my number 2.
You're so funny. You're such a funny guy.
Waiting just for that moment.
Okay, so do this. Okay, so we'll skip Glenn. We'll let Shane and Happy go, and then I'll go.
Have Happy first.
Okay, so go ahead, Happy.
My number 1. If I have to say my number 1 takeaway, had to be this group called 3D Steps. They're a bunch of kids that meet up on Friday nights at one of the parents' house, and I don't know if they changed that up. But they actually started to teach themselves 3D printing and the G coding and how to build a printer. They actually built 2 robotic arms, and they modeled all the attachments for it. I'm gonna have a recap film in my recap, but that has to be my number 1. The girl Anika, she gave a perfect description of every component and the processes that are involved. And it was so enthusiastic to see her face lit up, and she just gave all that energy and describing everything.
Is this like a sanctioned group, or is it just a group of friends?
It's a group of school friends, and
Is it
various ages.
Is it a group enough that donation, like filament and stuff, could be sent to them?
Yes, because
Okay.
they actually working on their own. They actually did their own belt printer, and it's amazing. You have to see this thing. I have a recap video.
Children built a belt printer.
Well, with the help of they have one of the.
I was
teachers
just busting on Carl.
But they did. I actually, you'll see this. You'll be amazed. The robotic arm as well. Everything is 3D printed, and each one had a responsibility to add to the project. So it's to see her describe all the components and give you a breakdown. It's amazing. You know, it sent chills. Sent chills up.
What's that?
All right, Shane.
Are we talking about companies or exhibitors?
No, just whatever. You're number 1.
Oh man, I'm gonna forget the guy's name, and I really hate it. But you commented on Twitter this morning, the guy with all the different models that he hand painted and everything.
You're talking about
what's his name?
Wally Gator 7744 from Twitter.
Yep, the guy he sat there. He had like a whole bunch of not busts, but full on figures of like
3D
all different
resin printing.
Yep, all different type of characters, and just the detail.
Oh yeah.
It was absolutely amazing. You know, I mean, like I can understand the whole this printer does this and this printer did that. This guy sat there, for how I just picked up on the smallest, littlest of things, and you could just tell how much just passion he poured into it. And I mean, listen, that
amazing results he got. This is something you go to the store and you'll just buy it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just you go into a comic book store, you're going to spend easily like $500. Every single time I went to his table, I put my arms behind my back. He's like, "You can touch it." I'm like, "No, you don't want me to touch this stuff." Why? Because I'll just look at it wrong. It's going to fall apart.
I'm notorious for breaking things.
Exactly. But to me, just that level of commitment and work that was put into it.
Motorized lights.
Everything. The fan with Thanos with the Infinity Gauntlet, and he had that little display with the 5 gems and everything else. I mean, to me, that was it was absolutely amazing. To go away from the technical side of things,
correct?
But just for that handcrafted.
But isn't it funny that before you were into 3D printing, back when we were all noobs, when you seen 3D printing, it didn't matter what it was. It could be a Benchy, and you were like, "This is so amazing." But now we have boxes of crap just sitting around 3D printed, and now it's all of a sudden like the artist that can paint well and stuff. It's like, this is so amazing.
Or even better yet, the artist who can sit there and just from the thought process to actually designing it himself, printing it out so it will print correct, then paint it and everything else. I mean, we have someone like that right here, right next to us.
Repcord said that he gets asked to do commissions all the time, and he won't do it because he doesn't want to ruin the hobby for him.
Really?
That's pretty awesome.
Nice.
Yeah, when you actually incorporate 3D modeling as far as designing, it takes your game to another level. Especially when you're printing your own designs, it's an achievement level. It's in a milestone. And it feels good.
Yeah, and to bank off of that, I don't know if y'all have seen Luby's new chess set she's coming out with, the Dragon series that she's doing on the resin print. Those are gorgeous, man. I can't wait to buy all of those and print those.
Yep,
those are going to be fantastic.
Now, has anyone? I saw was it Snow Labs up at Earth, and they were selling was it Midnight Amethyst? I think it was called. It's like an extremely dark purple glittery type of thing, and I guess Luby made an exclusive model just for that filament. So if you go on, you buy it and everything else, you get that model with it and everything else. So I have to send them an email saying, "Hey, I was there."
It was the wolf, wasn't it?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
But
I'm going to answer Ronnie Julian before I give you my number one, but no, I didn't have any driver issues. I'm running Windows 10. I plugged it in. It picked it up as a microphone, and it works. That's it. So if you found one at a thrift store for pretty cheap, then it should work well for you. So
you got a deal.
More importantly, we have a serial killer in the chat. Glenn Hogue from Alabama is here. It was so fun hanging out with Glenn. He's a good guy, even though he spells his name wrong.
Let me tell you this. My number, it's a combo affair, but I'll discuss the second one because it was separate. My number one takeaway was how many companies from Florida were actually represented there. Was amazing to me because, and I didn't even know Wham Bam was from down South Florida. I had no idea.
Yeah,
no idea Peter and those guys were from here. Slice was there. Delta Maker was there.
There's a negative to having that. You have to pay tax when you buy stuff from them.
Well, there is that for sure. And I'll tell you another about Delta Maker because I don't know how many of y'all saw my video on Delta Maker from Gainesville Maker Fair last year. I was not nice to those people. Okay. And when I went back and I saw the changes that they're making in response to criticisms that have been coming in, and that they're working on it, and that's pretty cool. I understand that. And the guys that are underneath the head of the beast are working harder, I think, than the head of the beast is, but they're working on innovations, and their product is starting to look more
His name's
more consumerable.
His name's Steve, right? Isn't it Steve?
I can't remember his name. I've got his card here somewhere.
I mean, he seems to be a genuinely nice guy. I mean, I've talked to him both at Gainesville and at Earth.
He is genuinely a nice guy, but he got into the printing business quite a while ago, and his business model worked so well for him. It's kind of like I look at Lulzbot. he got a good thing, and that's what he stayed with, and that's what he stayed with, and that's what he stayed with, and he just didn't move it. The innovation wasn't needed because his business model was working. But now that you can go out and grab printers off, from Asia for $600 that he's selling for $3,500, and they're more capable, he's finally seeing the light, and he's making moves, which is awesome to me.
Yeah, I like the fact that he up in Orlando, he spoke to the Astromech 3D, the ones that do the R2D tools, and they approached him and said, we really like to print this dome in one piece. So he went and changed the specifications of the build volume to do that. And he's adapting he's making an adapter plate, so you can use Slice Engineering's Mosquito. You can use various platform hot ends with their printers, which is a cool move. I would like. And
the cool thing I like about it, though, Ron, was the way that they have the quick changeable, and it's a quick change because the way they have their electronics, the leveling is built in through the nozzle. It's not like a separate module that you have to come on. And they're adding heated beds, which they didn't have before. They were printing on a piece of acrylic. Correct. So I mean, they are moving. They're I'm not going to say innovative yet because they're catching up to that, but I think once they get there, I think they will start moving, especially their deltas forward. Yeah, and you're right. That big one's a nice one.
Yeah, you don't always have to be an innovator as long as you embrace what the community has already proven. Adapt.
Give some add-ons.
So yeah. Did you guys see the big tall delta that the bed moves up and down? Did you talk to him about how that works? I did. That was amazing. And I don't have a delta, so I don't know. I don't really know much about deltas. I know the basics and whatever. But I said, so what made you do this? And he said, I was tired of bending over to pick up my print. Yeah. Right. He set the bed height, it locks to the belts, unlocks itself from the frame, will move to wherever he tells it to. Then it locks itself back to the frame and releases from the belt.
Locks in like this.
And then the what is that? What is that called on a Delta? The effector. Yeah, the effector can then go about its own business. And it's all uses the Duet Smart Effector.
He had that at Murph as well, but you didn't get to leave your table long enough to see it.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, now that I've sat here and listened to you guys talk about all your number one favorites, I think that was my number one favorite, was the fact that I could walk away from the booth and go see stuff.
I sat there on Saturday morning for 2 hours. I'm just running around the place as fast as I can to try to catch everything. And then I'm like, I'm not working. I'm not tied to a table. Relax, breathe.
Oh no, I was running the whole time, but it was really cool. And I have some commitments, and I kind of feel bad now that the FK1 didn't go to IRF. I mean, I have a lot of really wonderful sponsors that sent me great products for that thing, and then it didn't go to IRF. So it'll be going to Murph again this year. I did promise that it would come back out into the public at least one more time. So it's going to come out for Murph. So there is the whole logistics of getting it there. But I've decided that I'm going to have a back in 20 minutes sign or whatever, and I'm going to hang it and walk away at least once an hour for 5 to 10 minutes, because
you got it.
It's going to be incredible.
I need to unwind every once in a while too.
It's going to be incredible. We had enormous numbers last year, and they're talking about doubling that this year. It's going to be crazy.
Yeah, well, at least we got bigger space this year. So
hopefully,
will it actually be working? It's working now, Carl.
I will have to give props to Carl for the Squire. And able to pull that off. It's very close to the show.
I didn't really even get to see it.
That's why you need to get out from the table.
Well, no, it was because there was this crowd of people around. I thought he was giving stuff away.
I know. Guys, kept on going, because I just wanted to sit there and just give him a hard time, tease him about things, and I couldn't, because there was whenever I went by there was at least 12 people around him all the time. But I just got to say, man, that was an awesome job. I'm so happy that you were able to get that out to the show.
And then get up early and go mount the
White Knight,
the big sword.
Why are you mounting swords, Carl?
We put it up on the wall. We got there.
Oh yeah. You guys don't know.
It was heavy.
You guys know
one thing Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
One thing I will not be promising anymore is a good stream from any of these shows.
No, not unless
Because
we figure out how to get our own internet in there.
right, because I'm gonna tell you,
You stick 1,500 plus people into that building, just the amount of radio waves flying around in there, the amount of interference. Yeah,
you really can't. I mean,
and the thing about it is, I probably could have brought my modem and got a better signal in there because the 4G wasn't bad in there, so that probably would have worked for me. But you're right, the radio waves that were bouncing around inside that auditorium, I mean, it was crap. It really was.
I wonder if we got like a directional Wi-Fi antenna
interference
and aimed it right at the hotspot.
Maybe.
Meanwhile, people walking between
it's just like, well, no, we could have mounted it up on the rail up above because I'm sure their hotspots were up on the ceiling. I didn't look, but
yeah. See, Sean Miller said Josh streamed on his cellular hotspot and it was good. So
hotspots.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm
So,
sure. Well, and then like I'm sure their business office uses the same lines. And yeah, Michael Cassell said y'all are going to get cancer. We're either going to get it or it's going to fix it, one or the other.
And I have to say, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend Philippe Goncalves. I'm sorry that you have a pacemaker. I said I don't. I didn't know. My bad. I think he was joking though. By the way,
I'm sitting looking at you. I'm like, is he being serious? How would you offend someone with a pacemaker?
Well, I hope at this point the people that are in our chat don't get offended very easily the way that we are. But
and we have not swore yet.
Yeah, if you guys don't have your bingo cards out, you're missing out. There's already been a few good squares thrown about.
I know you guys didn't have that much to pack up and go and everything else, right?
I seem to have had a lot.
Who?
I did.
You did.
Pick stuff up and bring it back, right?
It took me forever to pack up to go home.
Do you know who the last man standing was?
Who?
Pooch, Repcord.
Oh, really?
They were there. Literally, they started when everyone else was already.
But when you come in with a semi-truck load of stuff,
we were packed up. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
When you come in, when they back the semi up and you unload your entire inventory, and you're by yourself. Well, I can't say he was by himself. Amy was with him. I think it was Amy, right?
Yeah, I think
no.
Allie.
Yes.
Yeah.
I say
Allie.
Yeah.
I'm bad with names, and I admit that.
Me too.
But did you guys see that? They had like that tool changer aisle, and it was like, did you see that big?
It was about the size,
massive one.
Oh yeah. It was all in plywood.
Yeah, guess who had to help get that thing in there? I just looked at the guys. I'm like, yeah, no, seriously.
Yeah, I helped them put it in the van so they could go home.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, haha, good joke. Okay, where's your? No, that's it. I'm like, how are you gonna
hot ends, right?
It was massive.
That thing was
it was so funny because I was giving, right next to them with the big plywood box. That's 3D Maker Kit.
Yeah,
that's Bennett, and I was giving them a rash of crap because I said, "Oh yeah, you bring a big plywood box, and then the guy next to you brings a bigger plywood box." You can never have the biggest plywood box because there's always a bigger one out there. You guys have beverages or anything?
Oh, what type of food site? You bring your own. It wasn't coffee. There's no green room.
I have there's a green room. It's just digital.
Let me tell you, I was impressed by something else too. That was these guys right here, and I don't know. Can y'all see these?
Oh yes.
Oh, why are you going to talk about those? Come on,
man. It's Earth. It's an Earth talk, dude.
That's my number one. That's my number one takeaway of the show right there.
Was it?
That is. Dude, I hung out at that guy's table so much, he just gave these to me and told me to go away. Stop coming back.
He gave me mine too, and I've already been in contact with him because I'm going to turn the TiVo Little Monster into an Exo Slide Beast.
Nice. That's Giles from Exo Slide.
Giles. I knew it was a unique name, but I couldn't remember it. But.
He actually took the time to speak to us about. I know you mentioned to him about adding an adapter to the current, and he was very receptive to it. And you know what? That's one thing throughout all the tables and the exhibits. You was able to talk and add some of your, I would like to see this, to see that. And they took it as constructive criticism. And they said, you know what? I probably have one manufactured in about a couple of weeks.
Yeah, he's got a bracket that bolts onto this that holds a 2020, but I need one for 2040. And he was like, yeah, I could probably knock that out. I'm like,
Yeah, John Strand. Yes, linear rollers have been out for years. These though are absolutely suited to the 3D printing community, 100%, because they're made for the extrusions that everybody builds printers out of, and they're friggin' awesome.
So this probably isn't in focus. I have this set for MakerBox, but yeah. So this one is for the 20 millimeter wide, and then this one's for the 40 millimeter wide. This is for the 20 millimeter wide, and
right.
then they actually lock together like this, and then there's a screw that goes down through there to actually screw them together. But John, they are so amazingly smooth, and the fact that was on the rail and not in the groove. Oh yeah,
that modularity is what I was going to talk about, because that's what makes them so amazing. It doesn't matter what your layout is of your extrusions. You can put these together to lock to it, to build you a plate, to bolt to it, to make your stuff. They are fantastic, man. This is a great idea.
All equipped with the entire setup as well there.
Yeah, when you guys tune into my Earth recap video, you'll see some pictures of that.
And then the 3 all equipped with the exact.
Oh yeah. No, that was fantastic.
Rig.
Right.
That was all 2020, and then what's really cool is on the x-axis, on one end he had that thing fully constrained, so he had 4 of them going around, but on the other end he only had 1. That way you don't over constrain it. Right. You have a little bit of gap. It takes a millimeter of gap between that plate and the extrusion. So.
Right. And I'll tell you, another thing that I thought was cool was, I think it's Bill from he built the Chameleon.
Oh, yeah.
And he had that at Murph, but they've redesigned it for Earth and made a lot of changes and made it so much better. And that is where you can feed 4 filaments in, and you're not doing anything except for turning switches on and off to feed your filament through. And that was so cool. And these guys are trying to be so funny by muting their mics. Look at them.
Hey, I said I was being nice. We
were putting our order to the craft table. So.
Oh, I got you. Buttram said it's Bill Still with the Chameleon. And that's awesome too, because it doesn't change your electronics on your Creality machine. You may have to turn your amps up on your motors a little bit, but it's basically you just put a set of switches on each end, and you can switch between 4 extruders, and you're only using the 1 extruder driver, which is awesome.
It'd be really cool, like at Murph or Earth or any of these shows. Not so much a Maker Faire, because it's, Rep Rap festivals are just 3D printing, right? But if you get like all the vendors and sponsors and all that stuff, right, to contribute 1 part, and then you make some type of custom community build printer. One of a kind. Here it is, the Earth 2019, whatever the name is. Right. And just like that, each year keep on changing it and growing it and everything else. That would be amazing.
I need to rep cord. That's what these are, is the 2040 ones. He already has those. So go out to ExoSlide and check him out.
And he's actually going to have those 2040 adapters, the ones that goes on top, in about 3 to 4 weeks tops. Yeah,
and I sent him the extrusions for the TiVo Little Monster. I sent him the extrusion profile, the exact one that it uses, and he's going to make sure that he sends me the right number of ones to do the upgrade on it. And he said he may go ahead and model the adapter plate I'm going to need to bolt it to it. Dude, I'd be like, sweet, because then that's 4 bolts to take out, put those on, and 4 bolts to put back in. So, hey, where's mine?
-2.
Here. Oh, wrong way.
So mine is 200.
Oh, wrong way.
You.
You're going to leave me a negative Yelp review there?
The video production was great, but the crafts table was really bad.
You know, actually, those exo slides, it doesn't matter whether you have V slot or T slot. It rides on the rail, so you can use it on either both. So
correct.
Correct. And the TiVo Little Monster is a 40 by 80 C channel of V slot. So it's a little different configuration. So
pretty big.
Yeah, it is. It's really big.
Oh, apparently, Shane had an awesome idea.
Yeah. What was your idea, Shane?
Oh.
Wait, I just told you.
Was you muted?
It was. I don't know. Apparently. No,
What'd you say?
At all the rep rap festivals, right? If you got like each.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
Contribute a part, right, and then build a custom printer for each show. You know, like you have the Earth 2019 model, the Earth 2020.
And then what do you do with them afterwards?
Just, I don't know, find a local,
donate it to a makerspace, or
that would be nice.
Or school. Well, but you would have a question. Well, yeah, probably a makerspace, because then it's like, who's responsible for the upcare and this?
Well,
and
that's
that
it. Because like if you donated a fully custom printer to a school, it would get weird.
I would probably do it. I would find the local makerspace that does a lot with community involvement.
Or maybe hold it off for future events and then see the progression.
But
maybe
for
raffle one off after the third year.
Well, because from Earth and Murph, they're always at the same location. So I mean, they could just try to keep it locally there and everything else, and just kind of like add to it every year.
Yeah.
Or not to that printer, but like a brand new, and then you get everyone in there to just try to add a piece or add a part of their skill set to it and everything else.
Interesting.
You can get a nice variation of a custom printer because almost every table has what you need.
But then comes the question of like who designs the printer.
It should be a group of.
Oh, that's a lot of headbutting going on. Let me tell you, from the moment that I started designing that printer and told people about it, the people coming in going, "Oh no, you need to do it this way, and you need to do it."
I would get a hat, put some papers with names in it with the parts. Okay, you're in charge of the frame. You're in charge of the nozzle. That together.
I just saw something pure evil last Murph. There was Prusa, and then there was A-Net happened to come in, or however that worked out.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, I could picture them two trying to work together to put together a printer. That would be interesting.
3D Geodon 999 says, let's do surf, the Southeast Rep Festival. Man, we have been kicking that around. The problem is we were talking about it, and there really isn't time. Murph and Earth are separated by enough time that people will go. If you start adding more in between, people really don't have the money to go. It costs a lot of money to pack up and go to those shows.
Correct.
It would have to be like an every.
Now we could do a get together that doesn't turn into an Earth style or a Murph style. I would love to have some type of get together.
That's called farts.
We're not calling it farts.
I can call it anything I want. I create.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
It's a golden corral, and you go for the farts and you leave with the poop.
Mommy, Daddy, stop fighting, please.
It was surf would be the thing. The problem is that when you start adding that in, I mean, you think about it, they're 6 months apart and then 6 months again, 6 months. I mean, it's just, you can't get much closer together than that money wise.
How many maker fairs are there? There's a bazillion of them. So
that's correct. But they're all local.
I mean, it's doable. Once you do the logistics, it should be
right. They're all local, but so surf would be local to us, and then BARF, Bay Area Maker Fair, or Bay Area Rep Festival would be local to that. So yes, there are.
But let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this though. Would you want it to be something like Earth and Murph, or would you just want it to be like a maker fair? A larger maker fair.
It would technically be like a maker fair, but it would only be just 3D printing. And so you start out just one day. You just have you started out as a get together. That's honestly where farts came from. It was a supper for all the 3D people, 3D printing people to get together and have dinner during the Orlando Maker Fair. And then
I was
go to a whole Saturday.
I was talking to a couple of people, and if we had one of those, it would actually be better to have it in somewhere like Jacksonville.
That would be
Because what?
That would be a terrible place to have it. That's
Why?
way at one end of the state, and Jacksonville smells so bad.
Not as bad as Orlando.
Jacksonville has a stink to it.
I think
not as bad as Orlando.
Medium in between him and.
Yeah, well,
the reason I
have to drive that far.
I feel your pain. Yeah.
But do you think
one of the reasons I say that is because they have a great airport that has cheap airfares into and out of it.
Yeah, but no, see, you're already looking too big. I'm thinking just Florida people.
Oh well, I mean, then it's got to be somewhere in the Big Bend up here.
I mean, you think about. No, I don't consider people who live in the Panhandle to be Florida people.
That's the only Florida people left.
They're Eastern Alabama people.
You don't even live in Florida anymore. You're below the Florida cutoff line.
They're Eastern Alabama and Southern Georgia.
One leg over the border.
Yeah.
Anything in line with Ocala or so is not Florida anymore. That's no longer Florida.
We should do it right in the villages.
Oh yeah, right. Okay, so I tell you what, you clean out your barn and we'll just have it there.
I've considered that. I've considered having it here. It's just not air conditioned.
But it would be cool if it was something, done logistically correct. Then people can go to if they want to take a trip to the theme parks or whatever, they can go to the local park.
Well, and that's the thing. I mean, Gainesville's probably the best spot to have it if you really want to look central just for Florida. But if you're talking southeast, it's got to be somewhere like Jacksonville.
The only downside to Gainesville is the venues. They're either small or super, super expensive.
But we may be able to.
The Fair has run into.
We may be able to work with Slice Engineering, who has contacts there, to get a cheaper venue.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I wouldn't. I mean, that's a big task to take on. But you figure here, Murph has been around for what, 9 years now? Wasn't that the 9th year? But
11. I thought it was 11, but okay.
So then, all of a sudden, these guys decide that they're going to create an IRF, and I mean, magnificently pulled it off.
Oh yeah.
For the amount of people that did it, I mean, those guys are amazing that they put that together and pulled that off as smoothly as they. But I wouldn't try to put one together thinking the whole world's going to come. I would put it together figuring that only Florida people are going to be there as a mini maker fair, but it would be a mini rep festival.
Right.
And then let it grow.
A mini rep. It could be a mini.
That's great, but if you
further up north,
Then you
go
learn
check
your
it out.
lesson.
But here's the thing. You also have to think about if you don't have someone sponsoring it, businesses sponsoring it, you're going to have to charge an entrance fee.
But
I'm sorry.
Yeah, but
I can't go out of pocket.
Earth has sponsors and they still charge a fee.
Well, that's true. That's true because their venue is very nice and they pay a ton of money for it.
Right. But, so whatever. But, it doesn't necessarily have to start that way. Either we find somebody to donate the space or we show up in a park. Parks are free.
I like this. Sean Butler said Southeast should be held in Atlanta, Georgia. There's absolutely nothing that should be held in Atlanta, Georgia. Nothing ever
should be held in Georgia.
I don't think the Walking Dead filming will let you. They have that all sold up over there.
Because you got to think about it. Atlanta's like the north part of the southeast. So that's not even south. Come further.
So
somewhere like most of Georgia.
Why does Shane have to win the lottery? Why can't I win the lottery?
I hear you.
But no, and I'm not even thinking, again, I'm not thinking southeast. I'm not thinking that big. I'm thinking just Florida. Just Florida. And then if anybody outside of Florida wants to come on their own accord, more power to you.
But then it turns into the Southeast Rep Festival. Once we get it, people start coming.
Not if we name it something else like farts.
And the thing is, though, if you want to make it Florida, then it has to be all of Florida. And see, like 3D Jimmy said, I'm 6 hours north of him, right? So if you continue on west of here all the way to Pensacola and you come to the middle of the state, that's somewhere like Perry or Gainesville or something.
I understand, but you know what? That's their fault for living in Pensacola.
We drove up to Earth. I mean, it's
Yeah. I mean, we drove 1,000 miles to go to Earth.
you definitely save money.
If you can't drive 8 hours out of the Panhandle to go somewhere, then too bad on you.
Well, but see, you drove 16 hours of it, and 12 of your hours is in Florida. So
Carl says that he's hearing a bad mic whistle. Is anybody else picking that up?
Oh,
I'm not
picking this up.
No, that's not nice.
Yeah, hey, when
Picking on the guys that live in the Panhandle. But no,
when,
honestly, if I'm willing to drive 17 hours to go to Earth, I mean, if people have to drive 8 hours to go to a Southern festival,
We could move it out here. It could be the Panhandle 1 year. We can move it around.
move it around.
Yeah, it's not a problem.
But do you think if they started having like more smaller rep festivals, do you think it would would cut into the attendance of Murphy?
not if they're
into New York.
No, I'm just it's an honest question.
not if they're not competing with those two, because like Glenn said, if we're just making it like a area rep festival where we get together on the weekend just to hang out in the 3D print and just hang out, that's different than having all these businesses come in showing their new wares and all that other stuff.
Some businesses that are local will come to the local.
Oh yeah, no doubt.
Oh no, the whistle was your laughing.
Well, I think it might have been my laughing.
I'm pretty sure it's your laughing.
Well, I've had issues with this mic before, and I've made some setting changes, and that's what I'm trying to figure. That's a $500 mic pack. What you guys are wearing, yeah. So, and I made some changes to it, but
it's really, hey, listen, really and truthfully, the only thing I hear is that printer.
350.
Yeah, well, those ones are super sensitive too, and I don't know how to tone that down yet, but
It's probably picking up that word.
could be, yeah. I am actually printing for the first time in a long time, so.
Steven, there's nothing warm about the heat of summertime where you live at, buddy. Phoenix, Arizona does not know that. It knows cold and hot. That's it. There's no warm.
It's a dry heat.
Yeah, so is an oven. So is an oven. Okay? It's just freaking hot. I am so glad that we're going back in December and January and not going to deal with that heat. It's just ridiculous.
But you know what? I mean, like I'm all in favor of more rep festivals. I know they were talking about doing one in Australia, which would be awesome because a lot of people can't. I mean, I'd like to go to some of the shows overseas and stuff. I can't afford that. So by having more, but I don't want to see anybody do any more the size of Murph and the size of Earth. There should probably be one on the West Coast. I mean, they should do one major one on the West Coast and then leave those three as the majors and do all the rest as minis.
But what happens when they start growing and then what?
Then they should get their hand slapped for allowing it to grow. I don't know.
Bad job.
The thing is, Shane, the thing is, as long as they grow in their areas for what they're doing, that's fine. I mean, like you said, we already have the makers fairs and they grow, they grow and shrink year after year,
Right. Yeah. I'm just, like what I'm thinking is if you have major ones and then you have the smaller ones, that allows everybody to have some place to go because not everybody can travel.
Oh yeah, I know.
We're very blessed to get to go to, I go way out of my way to make sure that I get to go to these shows. I mean, I stopped feeding my children 6 months ago so I could afford to go to Earth. But
I did notice Dan is getting a little bit thin. You got to stop pushing him down.
He's so not thin.
Well, see, one cool thing about having it, if we did have it in Orlando, one cool thing about having it in Orlando is, one, there's a good airport, but two, people can wrap it into a vacation.
That's what
You're thinking airport. I'm not thinking airport. I'm thinking people can drive up I-4 from Tampa.
You want to as far away from the airport, so there's not a lot of people coming.
No, but see, the thing is, people from Pensacola may fly to Orlando because it's like $25.
Oh, that's a good point. True.
You know what I mean? Instead of driving that 10 and a half hours from Pensacola to Orlando, they hop on a plane and they're there.
Sean Butler. Yeah, but Central Florida isn't close to anywhere except Florida.
That's
Good
true.
point.
That's true. That's
But,
true.
I mean, okay, so if we did it in the armpit of the state, then what about the people that are in South Florida? I mean, that's crazy.
But it's equidistance between West Florida and South Florida. That's what I was talking about. Is get that equal distant point.
But if you think about Florida, more people live in this part of Florida than this part of Florida.
But they're only here a quarter of the year.
No, that's just here locally to us.
Oh God, the snow bunnies.
The SNJRFF somewhere near Jimmy Rep Festival.
They're only here to vote, and then they leave.
Yeah, they're here to cry a lot. That's what they're here for.
Well, that's true. Don't you love it? It's like me going to airport.
You can get up to $49 flight to Orlando.
Martin said we should just have it in Iceland. Then everyone has a relative 6 to 9 hour flight from the USA.
See, but then Martin would have to put everyone up. I don't think.
Right, we'd all be staying at Martin's house.
He's like, guys, there's a hotel. Nope, we'll stay at your place.
Crashing at Martin's house.
Yep.
Yeah.
Martin says just have it in Iceland. Then everybody has a relative 6 to 9 hour flight from the USA.
It's the old timer thing, you know. It's that.
I could have sworn I just read that.
Yes.
I can't hear. Your mic is breaking up on my end.
Whose mic is?
Yours is. It's when they talk, when they say anything, yours sounds like a garbled mess to me.
Well, that doesn't make any sense.
Maybe
I didn't say it did.
Ours as well.
Testing. You want to speak?
Hello, everybody.
Testing.
Yeah, my
Sometimes yours is breaking up, but I didn't hear you. I'm sorry.
No. It's funny. Don't worry about it.
I have my first appointment with the VA for actually going to the VA doctor is the 24th. So I'm crossing my fingers they'll give me some damn hearing aids.
3D Jimmy, Chris Riley is under the weather. We don't know if he just got the flu or if he got taken out by ERF or maybe a combination of both. Well,
no, because remember, was it Murph? He's either this year or last year. People everyone got sick.
The Concrud.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was after Murph.
I don't think that happened.
I didn't do nearly as much talking this year either. But aliens.
What?
John Strand said aliens. But yeah. So he said he's having a hard time talking without coughing. So.
To recover from ERF.
Oh yeah, I was like, it took me 2 days, because like the first, I just kept on sleeping because I didn't get much sleep, and it wasn't like wild nights of partying or anything else.
No, it's just all the stuff going on.
It was just 3 hours of sleep. I'll explain later. But so I finally caught up on my shop. I finally caught up on my sleep. And but then even the next day, just trying to get my head to function normally, to have a regular conversation or the thought process or anything else.
Alan, there was actually talk of somebody starting an Australian Rep Festival. So I can't remember if JT had anything to do with that.
Possibly.
But there was talk of that. So you might want to scour the internet for that.
Yeah, but god dang, flying 45 hours to go somewhere.
Jake Griffith said, my audio is 10 out of 10 here. Just wish Walter could turn his down a little. He's blowing my hearing aids out of the window.
Well, I moved my microwave, so hopefully that'll help.
You're normal, but of course I have my speakers down really low too, so that it doesn't.
Yeah, the mic was really close to him. So.
Well, I had to turn it up the other day because nobody could hear me. And now, it's kind of blowing everybody out here. I'll turn it down. Is that better?
Yeah, Windows 10 has an issue inside of the sound settings. It changes the mic input level. It does it on Xander's machine all the time. I have to readjust it every time he streams.
And me too. I have to go in and set mine all the way up, and I didn't remember to turn down OBS. So
Wait, is Poppy telling us to hush? Are we getting yelled at again?
I don't know. Did we do something wrong?
I don't know.
Oh no. It's talking about your 3 hour sleep.
Oh,
Oh, it's one of those, huh? 3D Geo Don. Let's keep the politics out of here, buddy. We don't need that in here. Just you, Shane. Oh, the rest of us can keep talking. You got to shut up.
yeah, that's fine. Oh, no problem.
So, upon returning from Earth, did any of you got right back into 3D printing, or it took a couple of days? You did?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's really funny because when I got home from Murph this year, Murph 2019 kicked my butt 12 ways from Sunday. I came back so mentally, emotionally, and physically defeated and tired, and just I didn't print much of anything for all of those months. Earth just absolutely just rejuvenated me. The energy in there was fantastic. It was fun to get to see, and I think that was the problem, was because I didn't get to see what other people were doing.
Mm-hmm.
It was just me standing there telling the same story over and over. And not that I'm not proud of that thing. I'm very proud of that machine, and I love showing it off. But I didn't get to see the show. And it was the same at Orlando Maker Faire. I didn't get to see the show. And, I mean, I've printed more since I got home from Earth than I have since I got home from Murph. So big changes are coming to the Fun King 3D channel. So it's only 19 and a half hours now, Walter. They just did a direct New York City to Sydney flight test on the new Boeing Dreamliner.
It all costs an arm and a leg.
19 and a half hours to go from New York to Australia.
You couldn't give me enough medication to put me under to last
3D
hours on the airplane.
I just sleep the whole
3D
time. I'll sleep.
3D Geo Don, we're not going to block you, buddy. Just
No. Yeah, we're not. No.
No, please.
No, it was just the big. Where's my big block key? Where's the band hammer? No. It was just a verbal warning, man. Don't sweat it. It's all good. No, it's all good.
hey, look, everybody, it's Hamrise Larry.
Dude, I was shocked to find out who Hamrise Larry was, and I'm not going to disclose it here.
That did not shock me at all.
Oh, it was totally not who I was thinking it was, but that and honestly, I'm kind of sorry he disclosed it. I would have liked to have had it stayed as a secret. It's not that it's still not funny because he's all in, but yeah, totally not. And again, thank you so much for the gifts from my kid. That was awesome. So
I was kind of amazed, like, you know, after I got home and I started unloading things and everything else, I'm like, I sat there, I was like, oh wow, I got this and this and this and this and this and this. I'm like, man, I'm turning into Walter.
Oh, I had
so much stuff.
I have a pile like this. You guys will see it in my Earth recap video, like, because we went through it. But it was amazing. And some of the stuff I bought. I bought a roll of protopasta. It's my first roll of protopasta I ever bought.
Really?
Yeah.
It's just
because I don't print anything like that needs pretty filament. You know,
Yeah,
so like
'cause
I always just get, you know, cheaper stuff. And then I have amazing sponsors who just feed me filament. So like I just print with the stuff that they
don't you
feed
feel
me.
so bad for
You
him?
do, right?
I feel
Right.
so bad.
So I just have to give a shout out to my awesome sponsors.
I was
like
gonna sit there and say,
AIO
from here,
Robotics and IC3D and now 3D Fuel. So
I used never mind, 'cause it's gonna sound like I'm doing a plug.
you're doing a plug. You can do plugs. I don't mind doing plugs.
Well, no, but you know, what I was really impressed with was Filament One.
Yeah,
I used their stuff and everything else before, and the guy's name, and I'm very, very, very sorry because I think it's Josh, but I'm not sure.
the young guy. I can't remember.
Yeah,
but
but anyway,
super nice.
super.
Kid, yeah.
Oh my god! Because like whenever he sees me, he's like, "Hey, how's it going?" And he doesn't talk to me. He just talks like a regular person. Hey man, how's it going? You enjoying the show? And then it's like
As
small.
opposed to what?
Just
You're a celebrity?
No. Where it's just like all about our. Shut up! I'm not a celebrity. I am further. I am the furthest thing from a celebrity.
Yeah, well, that's in my Earth recap video too, because I I went by his table and like I was on a mission. I don't even remember what I was doing, but I was on a mission to go get something done. And I looked over and there was nobody at his table. And I stopped real quick and I went and quick shook his hand. And in the process of shaking his hand, he hands me a bag. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, thanks. I said, I gotta go. I'll come see you later. So I take it. Well, it had a piece of Bowden tubing in it, this bright orange Bowden tubing. And so I went back later on Sunday, and we had his table, and I said, hey, so I just wanted to apologize for being such a jerk, running by yesterday, and you're giving me gifts. So tell me what it is that you gave me and stuff. And he's like, oh, it's just tubing. But then he started talking about the Profi box, which you can see it's down there on the floor. And so he's telling me about the filaments in it and stuff. And so he's like, well, do you want one? And I'm like, yeah, I'll take one. I'll open it I'll do a video for it and stuff. So he gave me a Profi box, and I got a 3D Maker Noob shirt. Xander got a Filament 1 shirt. Yeah, I mean, it was just like super nice guy. I like people that give me stuff.
You know what was awesome at the show?
Is it Jacob?
Possibly. And actually, that's what I was just going to talk about, is never let the machines win. Ouch. There was a joke that I had, like when I was working with Prusa, if it ever got really, really busy, I learned to go look at Joel's YouTube channel to see which new video he released.
Oh, right? What was said about the MK4?
I'm trying to keep it family friendly. Believe me, I'm censoring myself in my head right now. I'm trying to just hold my hands. So I'd always joke around with Joel about the instead of the heat break, it was a Joel break, right? So I was talking never let the machines win and everything else. He made me up a shirt that said hashtag Joel break, right? And it was the best thing ever. And so like I wore, I'm like, oh my God, this is awesome. He's like, you sure? I'm like, I love this. Friday night, I think it was.
And it was a hit.
Oh yeah. Went right up to Joel. I'm like, hey man. He's like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, now I'm going to show you something, but it's a joke. He's like, okay. And I had a flannel. I opened up like that, started howling, laughing, and everything else.
Wait, you got to talk to Joel Telling in person?
Yes.
Yeah, he was at.
Wow, that's amazing. That guy's untouchable.
Because I just
he gave me a piggyback ride at Irv, dude.
Well, I'm sorry.
I was only.
He would have given Shane one, but he wanted to walk.
What's that, Walter?
He would have given me and Shane one, but he still wanted to be able to walk afterwards.
No, the point that I'm trying to make is that Joel is like a huge celebrity, but he's still so obtainable. Like, yeah.
There's a high majority who are like that, but I mean, like definitely Joe from Malta. There's no. There's a few other small ones. It's great because you're just hanging out with them. It's not like, oh, I'm a YouTuber, I'm this or I'm that. I'm too tired to meet people. Don't shake my hand.
Gee, who could you be talking about?
Who are you talking about, Shane?
For the most part, it was cool seeing them work the floor. They weren't really that. I don't want to say harassed, but they would let. There was
a couple of times where Joel was really buried. He was right in front of E3D, and there was a huge crowd. I had to go all the way down and around because there were so many people there. But no, for the most part, like Noob can just walk the floor. Tom Sandlander can just walk the floor. They weren't really they can, but both of them are like, well, I mean, Joel is too, but like they're so earthly. Yeah. Like Joe Noob, like he'd be walking, I just walk and talk to him, whatever, and then he's like, I'm like, all right, see you later, and
because I believe they're appreciative. They know it's not like, well, we made you, you owe us. No, but they understand. It's
they know how to give back.
They're not exactly, and that's like the coolest thing about them because like it doesn't matter. Like you can just be standing there, and Joe's like, hey man, how's it going? What's new with you? And that's he'll engage you.
So I don't know how many people have heard the story, but Chris and I, when Walter stayed back Saturday night to watch the football game, so Chris rode with us out to Printed Solid to see Printed Solid, and so as we're leaving the hotel, here's Joel and his producer David walking down the sidewalk, and I stopped the car and I put the window down. I'm like, Joel, and he goes, well, yeah, like that. And I said, come here. Like he has no idea who it is. He doesn't know what I drive. And so he's kind of like creeping over, like this. And I'm like, I'm like, it's weird seeing you on the sidewalk. So then I was talking to him Sunday morning, and then he said to Xander, he says to Xander, do you have a camera phone? And Xander goes, well, I have a phone. And he goes, does it have a camera in it? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, well, you want to take a picture like this? And so I thought like Joel was going to take a picture with Xander. Mm-hmm. And so Xander's getting his phone up, and all of a sudden he goes, here, get on. And I'm like, what? And he's like, get on. I'm 200 pounds. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm old. I can't jump. So I'm like climbing onto Joel's back. And then he can't get the camera ready fast. And I'm like, that's why in the picture, like my face is really stressed because I'm killing Joel. And I'm like, take the picture.
I'm trying, Dad. Stop yelling.
But yeah, it was.
But hey, I will say this: watching the YouTubers that were there, right, the bigger YouTubers, it kept reminding me of that old Sesame Street song. 3 of these things are like the others. One of these things,
is doing his own thing.
Yeah, that's what watching. That's what watching those. I would say the 3 biggest ones there was like. 2 of them were. Almost, they were great. They were fantastic. The other one, not so much.
Yeah, well, that's all right. We don't got to drive on that. But
no.
Well, there's that one. There's the one YouTuber that every time he walks in the room, he's like, "I'm the fun king, and I can do whatever I want." Oh wait, no, that's me.
That guy got on my nerves.
Do you know what I did? Let me show you my phone. These are my credentials.
Hey, listen, that guy keeps telling this annoying story about riding Joel Telling's back at Earth or something.
You ask my kids, it's a big funny joke because like I'll make an illegal U-turn or something. I'll say it's fine. I'm the fun king. I can do whatever I want. So, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Shane. Happy birthday to you. Woo! You can sing that song now.
3D Geodon 999 keeps asking about the Prusa Mini and the XL. The XL was not there, but the Prusa Mini was.
Thank you very much.
The Prusa Mini was, yeah.
I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna have to wait and give my opinion on that one later.
Very nice of you.
To me, it was not something I would want to spend $350 on at this time.
No, I took a bunch of pictures of it. I didn't really get to look at it because there was always a crowd around it. But
no, I didn't want to reach over you.
We got one here for you, Walter.
Pass it. Which way? No.
Appreciate it. I'm on a diet right now. I'm good.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, save it for mini surf.
We'll keep it here.
Gotta put it in the freezer for mini surf.
You guys didn't.
You know what was cool? Actually, at Earth, you've seen a lot of the projects that on 3D printing on Twitter. You see a lot of the projects that are being worked on. They were actually there. Like Brendan Bill, he brought that. Yeah. It's not an Ender 3. Awesome machine. Actually, that printed the 14-minute Benchy. I was actually there when he was printing it.
Oh, is he the one that won?
Bills, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I got to tell a story about him. I don't know him, and if this video gets out to him, I'd like for him to reach out to me just so I can get to know him. But I'm coming out of the building. Xander and I are walking out of the building at the very end of the night to go to the car, and he's walking behind, and he's video chatting with somebody, and he's like, "I'm internet famous now." I kind of thought he was kidding at first, and then whoever he's talking to was like, "Well, what happened? Oh, I won the Benchy contest, and Joel Telling announced my Benchy." And said, the dude was literally starstruck. It was amazing. It was so awesome to see his excitement over that. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah.
And we have the same excitement when we see his tool changer that he built.
Oh yeah, well, just
amazing.
Oh, is it the one with the dual screen and everything else on it?
The dual,
that thing was insane.
It was insane.
Yeah, I didn't want to interrupt him on his voice call or on his.
He pinned the build files for it on. I tweeted it out as well, and you can build your own.
Nice.
Everything's in.
Could I please?
Yeah.
Another one.
Yes, because I know what's going to happen.
Well, just keep it over the table and you'll be fine. Of course, I didn't plug those holes up yet. I've only printed.
I know. I've already sat there before. I'm just like, shoot.
I tell the kids not to put their fingers in there in case they ever fell over and ripped their finger out. All right, Walter, you have to talk for a while we eat our.
Ronnie, I do not know anything about the Benchy contest at all. I heard that there was a 14-minute Benchy that won. That's all I know. I didn't see the Benchies. I didn't go to the Benchy contest. I didn't do any of that.
There was actually a G-code file that they had to use. You couldn't use your own, right? It was already pre-sliced.
No.
No?
No. They gave you an STL.
You had to slice your own so that you could tweak it however you wanted to get the time down.
Okay.
I don't know where she got these from, but they're good.
Oh my god.
Happy Run might need new batteries. I don't think so. I just charged that up and
I've been leaning on him. Maybe I shut it off.
Hey, and Thomas Emrise said it's cool to finally see us guys in person, even that Walter guy. That Walter guy that keeps pronouncing Thomas Emrise as Emrise. And shall continue.
Mraz. Just Mraz.
I will continue to say Thomas Emrise until my toes turn up and they put some dirt on top of it. And Hamrock Larry come back and said he'll wait for Chris Riley to make the Prusa Mini clone and name it Twig. So I did look at the Prusa Mini. I looked at what it was, and for somebody that wants that as a printer, that's fantastic. I think I'm beyond the Prusa Mini, so I don't really want one. You know, I'm past that in my 3D printing life.
Yeah, it has to fit your needs, like with any printer. It has to fit what you want to make. One for it to work. And as long as it fits, it fills a void in your print farm, then it might be for you. If not, you want
right.
Mike said you seem quieter than me and Shane, but that's because Ron talks quieter than us.
Yeah. He's all nice and mellow.
He's not loud and rowdy like the other ones are.
I try not to yell too much.
Thomas said he announced himself that way to everybody at Earth, and it worked. Who he was.
Yeah, when he introduced himself to me, he was like, I'm Thomas Mraz. I'm like, oh yeah, you're the one that Walter calls Mraz. I bought a Mini just because it's cute, and I miss my monoprice Mini that I sold.
I hear you. I did give away my monoprice Mini Delta, so I did that. Hey, Glenn, since you don't have a Delta and you're never going to use the resin printer that you got, I've got a Delta. I'll trade you.
Okay, what?
I said, but I've got a Delta. I'll trade you.
He'll trade you a Delta.
No, I'm going to fire that resin printer up because I talked to Mark from Peel Poly as I was leaving, and I made like a crack. He had said something about liking my videos, and I said, well, they would be better if I had a Phenom in them. And then I'm like, no, I'm just kidding. He told me, he said, reach out to me. I'll get you some resin. We'll start there. So.
Didn't you win the Phenom?
No, that was Josh.
No, Ocala won. Josh is not that far.
Wow, that's a good deal. I wonder if he's going to provide the resin.
No, bring your own resin. It has to.
Oh, you have to bring your own resin. Yeah, because that thing holds like 2 liters.
I'll just make sure to turn off my phone because you guys might. Shane, it's not working. Get over here.
I don't.
I will tell you, man. I love my resin printer, and I'm not one of those that balks about the cleanup and the after stuff and all that. It doesn't bother me. I watched a video the other day. A guy was talking about the Elegoo Mars, and he like opened the lid and there was resin in it. He's like, oh, the smell. Oh, it's just terrible.
But I'll tell you, some of those resins have to be stinkier than others.
Oh yeah, they are. They are.
No, the thing is, he was using the same resin that I use in mine. And I'm like, dude, it is not that friggin' bad.
But like, I've noticed, like, even with you could have the same manufacturer and everything else, but like different colors and everything else. Like when I was doing the SO1 beta testing, the orange was fine. The transparent red, that had a very much stronger.
I suppose, depending on what the makeup is. Yeah.
Now, Walter, you still have that Creality one, yeah, or did you get another one?
No, I still have the Creality one, and I just purchased some FEP films on Amazon, and I'm gonna tell you what, these are a lot more delicate than the ones that came off of the printer. The first one I tore just putting it on, and then the second one I tore because the print stuck to it and ripped it. So these are really cheap, and I left a really cheap review on Amazon as well. So I've got to get some more. So Patrick needs to.
Wait a minute. That's why he thinks that Jacksonville smells better than Orlando.
Absolutely.
Now we get it. The truth unturned.
Yeah, but Orlando smells like mouse turds. Jacksonville smells like marshland.
Oh, this coming from a guy that loves Disney.
Oh, I do love Disney, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
Walter, did you see the announcement from Elegoo with the new Mars Pro?
No, I didn't.
You should go check it out. It's pretty interesting.
They put a lot of stuff in there for an extra $50.
Thank you.
Really?
Yeah.
I did see where they is that the linear rails one that's $4.99?
No. Well, right now it's just it depends. I mean, 'cause like if you go on to, I mean, most of the time it's on sale for $250, right? On Amazon, when it's not on sale, it's for $280. They're saying this is going to be $300.
That's a little P next to the Mars.
Oh well, I saw one. Oh no, it was the Anycubic Photon. They have a lower model that's $269, and then they've got one that's $499, and they added linear rails, and instead of that the wheel mechanism.
They added a scrubber chamber for the fumes.
Yeah.
They walked a lot of stuff in there.
Yeah, I'm planning on saving up and getting a something the size of the Phenom, or what's the frozen one that Clayton did?
Transform.
Yeah. I mean, I really want something that's like that. And I mean, you're going to have to spend $1,200 to $1,500 to get one. But resin, to me, everybody's like, "Oh, resin's so much more expensive." Not really. To me, it's not, because you hollow out your model.
Right. It depends on what you want to get out of it.
Yeah. I mean, if you're doing solid models, then yeah, I can see that. But if you hollow out your model, you're not using that much resin on a print.
Paul Cumber said hi to you, Shane.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Paul, what's up? What's going on?
Well, and
I'm in a sugar overload crash now because I never
let the machine win, Mike. The Pure Poly Phenom is definitely going to be on my list. I did talk with, I forgot the guy's name from
Mark.
Pure Poly. Huh?
Mark?
Yeah, that's it. I talked to him, and we'll see, like Glenn did. What are you laughing at?
It's a big machine. It's definitely a big machine.
Oh, that thing is a beast. It's over 100 pounds. And if you get, highly advise you have some assistance lifting that up.
Yeah, but I know that's what you're laughing at.
He actually made a shirt for me right at the last minute and brought it down. So thank you, Mike.
One of his bright orange?
Yeah, I love it.
That's what Shane was laughing at, because he's ready for me to do support. That's what it is.
Right.
I'm his favorite support customer.
Yeah, he wants to support you, Walter. He likes the fact that you keep following him to every company. That
No kidding. I wasn't laughing. I was crying. I'm trying to keep it straight.
He's going to go to ANET support next, so nobody follows him over there. Was that a little harsh?
Wow.
Okay, that was a little harsh.
Wow.
I take that back because I like my
family friendly also means actions. Okay, that was below the belt. But also, 3D Jimmy asked a little bit earlier on. But yeah, I'm working for Pure Poly now, doing community-based support for the Phenom, for the Moai, and some other projects.
So what does community-based support mean?
Well, it's not like I'm doing one-on-one chat.
So there's like a forum, or it's Twitter.
It's forum, Facebook.
That
Sometimes
sounds awful.
Actually, no. It's I see.
Well, you said Facebook, so that sounds awful.
It's like user groups, right?
Surprisingly, and I know I'm going to jinx this right now because I'm saying it on YouTube. I will sit there and say, in all honesty, because I've gone through the Facebook pages and everything else, that one is pretty tame. They're not so.
Well, it's very special.
Yeah,
it's very special.
Yeah.
Most of the specialty groups, most of the dedicated groups are not too bad.
Yeah.
It's the general.
Yeah, that's why I kind of got out of the Facebook, the general printing ones, because it was just like, hey, I'm having a problem with this. Yeah, hey, why don't you do this? oh, you shut up! You don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah,
It's like,
well, and the amount of wrong information given in those groups, and then the fact that somebody will ask a question and the very first reply is the right answer, but then there's still 7,500 other people chiming in, some with the right answer, some with just, and then
there's a link. This worked for me.
Well, and everybody is like, everybody on Facebook thinks they're funny. We'll just leave it at that.
Wait, one thing.
There's just one guy that gets on there every now and again. He's kind of bald headed, wears glasses. He gets on Facebook, man. He aggravates me to no end.
Yeah, but I know I'm funny.
But just real quick for Kit, we want to get our boss really mad at one of us so he doesn't know who he's talking to. He's like, Shane, shot, get over here now. I used to do that to my parents all the time.
Tom Llama, actually what I said was I like my ANET. I didn't say I liked ANET. And no, I didn't like the taser face. That's why you have it now. Curses on you, brother. No, my AM8, I am not allowed to show you what I printed on it yet, but you'll see it soon enough. The only reason I'm printing on the CR10S Pro right now is because the AM8 wasn't big enough. So Facebook is so bad. I agree. I want to like that comment. Oh.
Well, we're done.
See, now here's this Knack 3D Designs guy, or Naked Designs, whatever. Funny looking. See, that guy thinks he's funny, but he's not.
Well, I'm still waiting for that. Is he supposed to be working on something? Some white something that's supposed to be out? I'm still waiting for it. Wait, hold on.
Yeah,
wait,
I can't pick on him for that.
Oh no, I just thought so. Go on, Carl. Ask me when Prusman's coming to Amazon. Go ahead. I dare you. Do it.
When is it? No, I don't. I don't really care.
Neither do I. Because I don't have to worry about it anymore.
I haven't.
Sits in the corner.
I haven't even tried.
All alone, not
Yeah.
plugged in.
That's how it should be. That thing was cursed from the day one. So I still I get people reaching out to me to ask me like tech support questions on the E12. You know, like, well, mine is doing this, and most of them I can help because they're just general 3D printing. But it's like I don't have an E12 anymore to try to replicate the problem. You know, like I can't be support for the E12.
Yeah,
I hated that thing so bad. It says right in the description, I hate this printer. Don't buy one. You know, but if you want to, here's a link for it.
The thing about it is,
David Randolph. What's that?
The thing about it is, you can buy that printer, take that frame, put some good parts on it, and it'd be a decent printer.
What, the E12?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay, so you take that printer and put some good parts on it, and it's not that printer anymore.
That's
like
correct.
The only thing that printer had going for it was the extrusion. The bed was bowl shaped. The Y carriage that carries the bed was made out of aluminum foil. Like it was so thin that when I printed, I play with it all the time. When I printed the jack to try to level the bed, all it did was unlevel the Y carriage. The board was bad. The wiring on it is subpar. I mean, there was just so much that was wrong with it. I mean, it was a fire hazard. So I'm like, here, Tom, put this in your house.
Right?
The
thing is, I think with their latest versions of their machine, I think they're trying to get better. I really do.
Well, it's the right direction to go in.
Well, and the fact that they showed up to Murph shows some initiative that they want to know. I mean, the guy was genuinely interested in how I felt about my ANET. What?
Nothing.
Do you know something I don't?
No, about yours? No.
No, just about the fact that they were there.
Yeah, well, because maybe after the show, like, you know, for the dinner, they were going around checking out everyone's printer, and they decided to go near. They might have. From what I've heard,
they were listing some intellectual property.
they wanted to open up a certain type of printer that was
the
showcase.
Yeah, I heard about that. The Prusa printer. Yeah.
That was comical.
So
that was very comical.
But it doesn't matter. The fact that they showed the initiative to go to the show, they were like, they came to me and they're like, "Do you have any?" And I'm like, "Yes, I have one." I said, "I've upgraded it to the AM8, which now it has an aluminum frame." And he was like asking me, like, "Why?" And I'm like, "Well, because your frame was garbage. It was made out of plexiglass, and it had too much, wobble in it. So I built one out of aluminum so that it was stronger." And I was showing them pictures. They were genuinely interested in making their stuff better.
Actually, in fair play, what was it? About a week or two ago, Maker Muse came out with an ANET review.
Correct. Yeah. Oh, on the A8 Pro.
Yeah. Because he was just like, I said I would never do it again, but it appears that they're trying to do the right thing and yada yada yada.
Yeah. So
I just hope it continues.
I did the review. I think this is the E10. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the E10, the Delta, or the 8, what their nomenclature is. But the Delta that they gave me at Murph, I did the review of that, and the thermal runaway was there. I mean, and the printer prints well. So, I mean, that's what people were fussing about, that and open source. I love the open source community, and I love that that's the way. But I don't think a company has to be open source unless they blatantly take something from somebody else that's open source and then make it closed source. Yeah, I get that.
Well,
I understand that.
They're using Marlin's firmware. They're hacking it use, and then they're not releasing it out.
Here's my thing, though. We tried to see if that was Marlin firmware on there, and I had no way to try it because it wouldn't take any of the Marlin commands to get version numbers, or a lot of the Marlin G code wouldn't even work on it.
Well, I mean, that Delta printer may be different. I don't know.
Right, but that's what I'm saying. I don't.
Right. And then I'm going to say something, and I know some of the community is going to want to smack me for this, but Creality needs a U.S. liaison that's not the person they have currently. The liaison they have, I'm sorry, is a worthless human being as far as being a liaison. So, and I think that's their biggest hurdle, is if they could get somebody that would be a proper in between the U.S. market and the Chinese market, that Creality could go a lot further.
There's that gap there, that communication. I know what you're saying is frustrating.
I mean, we all know who I'm talking about. And she does a fine job for doing what she's doing, but she's not the right person to be a liaison. This is a person that if you blink funny at her, she blocks you off her Twitter. So the liaison of a major printing company is blocking people. I got blocked. I've never even spoken to her.
It's because you followed someone who followed someone.
It's because I liked a comment that was against her. Yeah.
I think the whole aim of it, if you want to create a bridge of communication, you have to have a professional person in place that,
well, that's fluent in both languages. And is the biggest thing.
And doing that job.
Right.
I mean, I know you have other avenues that and responsibilities and commitments, but you have to at least keep that bridge open. You can't close it off of something that happened on the side and then expect, it's just something missing.
Sean, I will always tell you how I really feel. That is my personality, buddy. So, I mean, for what she does a fine job at her videos and stuff, and her projects are cool and whatever. But I just don't think she's the proper liaison.
Well, what was it? I think it was Nearest, if I'm saying his name right.
Nearest?
Yeah.
Chris?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember which European show it was. And it was I think it was say 2 to 3 weeks before Earth.
Is that the TCT show?
Yes. And so, Nearest said, hey, if you're in the US, why don't you stop by to Earth? And that person replies, I will never go near another 3D printing event ever again. I'm like, you just basically told, you're
half the market.
Yeah, that you're never going to go to an event that you represent, for Chinese companies. I don't get that.
She is now under review with Twitter, so she has basically blocked herself on that platform.
Oh man.
So her account is closed. Wow.
So which conspiracy is it this time?
Well, you know,
I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, she lives in a horrible country.
No,
mean,
I completely get that.
I mean, their government is horrible. And again, I don't want this to go political, but you know, so she does have battles that she's fighting.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. She's just not the right person to be a liaison. The other one is sitting over there, by the way.
Oh,
we all had one, unless somebody wants a second.
And we already had our sugar high. Oh no, thank you. No, thank
I
you.
tried to give it to Walter, but he said he was on a diet.
I know we couldn't get it through the screen. It was like, Walter, you hear that?
Priscilla
What do
bought
I hear?
Walter's too busy playing with his new toy.
That's a lovely sound. You
You
know what?
didn't prep the people with headphones.
You know what irritates me about that sound? Not the sound, but the fact that you're scraping up the anodization. It's like, no, don't do that.
The thing about it, Ron, you say that about people with earphones. I don't ever warn people with earphones anymore.
Kid said,
Fernando,
the NBA.
Fernando Pena he's so busy he doesn't get to come on the streams anymore. So I don't blow people out much anymore.
Oh man, I swear. There was sometimes like I'll be working, I would put Walter's live stream on just for background noise. I can hear what's going on and everything else. And the first few times, my ears are bleeding and everything else. I'm like, dear Lord, next time, please.
Oh yeah, when he would lean way into the mic and
ladies and
yeah, that's like old school Walter right there.
Oh yeah, but I mean it was like wow, you could wake the dead with that one.
So anybody you met at Earth that you haven't met before? I mean, like any other
Who are you again?
YouTubers
He's the Chris today. He's pulling us back in.
Yeah, he's trying to keep us focused and everything.
Well, the
Chris is actually
and again, I've already forgot his name. The guy from Exo Slide. I had never Giles.
I might be saying that.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that Giles band? Come on, Walter. Who is that? Jay Giles band. Jay Giles.
Hey, Giles, man.
Come
on, man. You know what? Now you're going to sing Freeze Frame for me?
I'm not singing nothing for you. You were lucky that I sang Happy Birthday a few minutes ago.
Giles Medlicott.
Oh yeah, Jim from Edutech.
Giles Medlicott.
What's that?
Giles Medlicott.
There you go.
Right, that's him.
Like I got to meet people like that I know here. Like I got to meet them in person.
Right. But, yeah.
You know, like Glenn Hogue, the serial killer. If you're not familiar with that joke, it's from the show Superstore. They got this automated robot, and it turns out his name was Glenn, which was the old store manager. But he's like, well, they spelled it with one N, like a serial killer. So that's where that came from. So that's why I give Glenn a hard time, because his name only has one N in it.
Definitely got to link up with James. Print and play. That was cool.
Yeah. I spoke because this was your first one, right?
This was my first.
Yeah, so there was a lot of people there that you had never had a chance to be in the right room with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think about that.
I was so impressed with the growth, just like compared from the first year to this year.
Well, I think the biggest problem was last year being the first year. Nobody thought it was going to be anything.
Mm.
Like people had the mentality of, we'll wait for a few years for it to take off. And it was big last year.
Yeah. Oh, yes. I mean, don't get me wrong.
No, but I mean, like it was exceptionally bigger than people had thought it was going to be. And then they were like, oh, yeah, we got to do this.
Yep.
Plus, again, where they made it later in the year. So there was a little bit more time between Murph and her. The time of year doesn't work for me because of the kids being in school. But, you know, I guess not everybody revolves around Fun King.
I found out something about myself at Earth that I didn't really realize before.
That you snore loudly?
You? Damn it.
My hearing is really bad when I'm in a crowd.
Oh,
really, really bad. Because people are standing there talking to me and I'm paying attention and I can't understand a damn thing they're saying.
Yeah.
It's just like
we had to move out of indoors to go outdoors just to talk. I remember that.
Yeah.
We were over there.
Well, I mean, when you're as old as Walter, stuff like that happens.
That's true. That's true.
That's the official old joke for the stream. I mean, I made it in an hour and 40 minutes.
They don't make the battery anymore for your hearing aid. Wasn't that one of the?
No, mine's crank winded. You gotta wind mine up.
He has a battery. I thought it was a little.
I tried 3D printing a wind-up spring, but it doesn't last long enough.
The solar panel is not large enough yet, but we'll get one on the hat.
Yeah, but I keep sitting on those because I Velcro them to my butt.
But yeah, it was loud. It was everywhere was loud.
Well, I'll tell you what, Walter, you keep on the VA about that. And if they give you any flack, you have them call me and I'll explain to them how irritating it is that I have to repeat myself to you 30,000 times on screen.
I hear you.
No, you don't hear me. That's the problem.
Maybe the doctors will see that.
Yeah, bring them clips. Like, be like, watch this clip, sir.
Hold on 1 second. How much time do you have?
I am actually. I got my handbook and all that stuff this week, and I am actually going to talk to them about that, about the hearing aids. I actually met a younger veteran. I mean, younger than I am, on my way back when I was in Charlotte, sitting at the gate, and he just got his hearing aids from the VA, and he was probably 42, I think is what he said, and it cuts down on the screaming in his ears so that he can actually understand what people were saying. It's not that it amplifies, because the sound is loud enough. It's just like it's all jumbled together and I can't understand anything.
Yeah.
It's like a noise canceling type.
Yeah, basically.
Carl said you wear headphones while on stream.
No.
Then you're gonna have to get turntables in front of you.
Right.
Turntables and a microphone.
Oh, you beat me to it. That was the first thing in my head.
And that's actually a square. I mean,
is it?
I think that counts as a maybe it's only movie and TV show now that I think about it, but I'd give that as a square. If
Where
not,
it's at?
change it to include song lyrics as well. I'm looking. I guess I don't have that square. I'm gonna refresh.
Yeah, all you got to do is put in where it's at. That's all you got to do.
No, I was looking at the bingo card. Movie, TV, song, lyric, reference. Yep, that's actually absolutely a square.
But the cool thing about the new hearing aids is they're Bluetooth, so they work as Bluetooth headphones. They work as Bluetooth phone things for your cell phone. They also give you a little a microphone so that you can like give it to a certain person in a crowd. You can say, "Here, hold this while you talk to me." That way I can pay attention to just you. And it works from like 30 to 40 feet. So if you give it to your wife and she gets over there and goes, "What do you want to drink?" But they're pretty awesome. The new hearing aids are awesome.
Audio, you can do interviews with it.
I used to
it has a mic.
When I had my computer business, one of the setups that I had was with a hearing aid doctor locally, and they were selling systems that like it would be a thing that they put around their neck, like a little box that they wore like a necklace, and it would hook to their home phone, it would hook to their TV. It was all these different, and they could choose the source. So, and then that way they could hear specifically what they wanted to hear. And so I went in and installed all of that. But very cool system.
Hey Jimmy, 3D Jimmy, I think that app is just built into the male genetic code. I don't think that has anything to do with hearing aids.
I was gonna say, I think that's called divorce, 3D Jimmy. I'm pretty sure it's already out there.
It's like that old joke. I don't understand why my wife always starts conversation with "What do you think?" That's like the beginning of her conversation.
Yeah, I'm not. My wife's awesome. Y'all got problems. That's all I'm telling you.
No, my wife's awesome too. She's just weird.
My wife will sit and listen to me ramble on about tech stuff that she has no clue about, and just keep nodding her head as I go through it to allow myself to think out loud to find a solution to my problem.
Right?
She deals with it. By the way, that's a square.
Mine does it too. Mine does too. She listens to all the stuff about this and all that. But yeah, I think we all have that built in, Jimmy. Even Glenn.
Must have been the original app.
I can't wait to show off the print that I'm printing either.
Oh,
I really hope that's enough filament.
I can't wait to show off the print I'm printing. It's going to be epic. And not so much that the print is epic, but how it's going to be presented is epic. And that's all I'm giving you.
I guess we could talk about. I was printing this a litho paint for Glenn, and you know, you get back from Earth and you're really excited and you're really motivated. And you tend to say, oh, you know what, I'm gonna do something really amazing. So I wanted to do it this big.
You guys have no idea. This thing is so heavy.
It's solid. Wait, man.
It's solid. It's solid.
Yeah,
I'm not forcing it.
I mean, you could use this as a sword.
It was going well. Then I had a little adhesion problem. Then I was gonna run out of time, so I have to take something. So let me print them. At least have the object done. So yeah.
I mean, you guys can
Massive.
see. You can see how deep. How
You
deep
put a
that
light
is.
behind it. They probably could see the.
Maybe.
Hey, there's 3D Maker Kid. Wait.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Bottle. It's massive.
Hey, Bennett. Oh, sorry. Bennett. I found it. Woo!
Oh, nobody stole it.
Nope.
You know that's funny. Because you thought somebody stole that, and they didn't. And I thought somebody stole my cable chain at Gainesville Maker Faire, and I ended up finding it. So.
Well, I do know, and I don't know the guy's name, but he brought me another maker coin because he gave me a messed up one at Murph. And I know for a fact that it ended up in Chris's box. And the guy specifically came to me and he goes, I made you another one because all you got was a bad one at Murph.
Isn't that Kit? I think that's Kit's.
It might be, but it was multicolored. And it just says Murph 2019 on the back, and then it's got a design on the front, and I can't see the design because it was messed up on mine. But he brought me one that was really great, and I think I put it in Chris's box, and I don't have it. So
The logo from the 3D printed multicolor logo from Earth was awesome, and they were nice.
Yeah.
Right.
But the thing is, Bennett printed this, and y'all didn't get to see this, Ron. I don't know if you saw this. Or Shane, if you saw this, it's a T-Rex, but he took the model of my head that Llama did, and he split it down the middle and put it on each side. So it's a Kuntry T-Rex.
Get out.
And I know you can't see it here. Let me see if I can get up to it. I don't know if I can or not. But it's kind of got my face on it.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Bennett, are you serious? You really don't know who these guys are? I mean, are you just toying with me?
Wow.
Who's that? 3D Maker Kit?
Bennett?
3D Maker Kit.
He's the one that had the big plywood box. The big plywood enclosure.
Wait, the big.
Not the big one, the one next to that.
Oh, the one next to him.
Yeah, the one that wasn't quite as big.
So he saw me on Friday night.
A long time ago, I'm not sure if it's 3D Maker Kit. I was helping him with the extrusions to make one of his printers more bigger. I think, I'm not too sure. It might have been someone else. I believe it was.
Well, there also used to be 3D printing kid, right? Wasn't that?
I need to answer Llama real quick. She was with me all of Murph.
Yeah.
Llama. All these guys up here saw Mrs. Kuntry at Murph sitting right beside my computer on the table. So she was there with me, and she broke on the way home.
At Earth.
At Earth.
At Earth, yeah.
Earth.
And dinner. I think you brought her to dinner.
Yeah.
What, were you courting her around town?
Yeah, you brought her to dinner.
Yeah, she was with me.
Yes.
Oh, and the thing is, Llama, you will get to see it. The base broke off of it, so it's at the house, and I need to super glue it back together. It was in my check bag.
Wait, you need to what it back together?
Glue it.
What?
No, you heard me right.
You're going to put what on that?
I'm going to put super glue on it.
That's ridiculous when there's a product called 3D glue.
I would, but half of my bottle dried up.
They'll let them know. They'll take care of that.
Yeah.
No, they won't. I told him about it, and he said, well, buy another bottle. So,
No,
yeah,
I'm going to put. I don't believe that story.
He said, we have got a new lid that we're working on. When it comes out, get you another bottle. We've had a lot of reports of that. That was exactly what
I'll get you another bottle.
Nope.
Oh, great, Shane. Dump your Coke right into my computer.
The brand new one?
No, on the FK1.
But to answer Bennett's question, this is Ron, the happy extruder, and that is Shane, formerly of Prussia, now just Shane,
Who works for?
who works for Pio Poly.
You're gonna need like a roadmap one of these
Yeah,
days.
no doubt for you. God, if you keep a job long.
I'm sorry.
So no, Glenn, to answer your question, that would have been my answer had it not half of my bottle dried up.
All right. Well, I'll get you some 3D glue.
I think I still have individual packets.
You got to have some 3D glue. Yes, Shane left Prussia. Sometimes
It was so weird. I'm sorry not to jump back to Earth, but it was so weird because some people have like, hey, what's going on? I'm like, oh, whatever, blah, blah. Like, what, you're not working the booth over there? I'm like, talking to Bruce. I'm like, no, I don't work there anymore.
Yeah, but like you didn't make a big internet deal about it. The only reason I knew was because of the chat group. Not
I put up a post on my Facebook page, on the From Prusa page. And it was just like, hey, just so you guys know, blah, 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 blah. And like, it wasn't vindictive or anything else. And I have no ill will towards the Prusas at all or the company or anything else. But some people were just like, I'm like, oh yeah, I don't work from I'm so sorry. I didn't mean anything. I'm so sorry. It was like if I told them like a family member died. I'm like, I don't know. Are you saying sorry to like, like, what are you doing? Are you crazy? You left there? Or, I couldn't really figure out
I don't know. Like, I had seen I think it was on Twitter today, but somebody had said, somebody had made a post that they got to meet Joseph, and it was, I think it was a younger guy, but he was like, oh, he's such a big, a big celebrity or something in the 3D printing community, and I mean, people really, I mean, they put that whole thing on a pedestal, and I mean, yes, their printers are awesome, but he's a human being just like the rest of us.
Hey, is Orlando Maker Faire Saturday and Sunday or just Saturday?
Yeah. Saturday and Sunday.
It's a weekend event.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a full-fledged Maker Faire. It's not a mini.
It doesn't feel like a mini, right?
I may be able to ride down on Sunday. I might be able to ride down on Sunday. I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, Bennett Joseph is definitely a good guy to talk to if you can catch him when he's not swamped. You got to catch him when he's a little bit more laid back, and then always give him something 3D printed, but tell him you printed it on your ANET. The look on his face was hysterical.
I remember I forget what exact printer it was because I was too busy, but someone wanted him to sign another brand printer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he's just like looking at him. He's like, he's expecting someone to jump in, like, I pranked you, But it was just the weirdest thing, It's like
I don't know if that is a weird thing because maybe it was Prusa that got him into 3D printing, or maybe like it would be no different than me asking a book author to give me an autograph, but I grab a US magazine or whatever because it's the only thing I have.
I would just do it flat out just because somebody asked me to.
Yeah. I mean. But I've autographed all kinds of printers. I don't even make them, The look on Xander's face when people asking for autographs, it's awesome.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's probably the fastest 2 hours we've ever done.
Yeah, that did go quick. Well, that's because Earth was amazing.
Here's the changing fact. One of these things is not like the other.
It's because we didn't have Chris here to keep reeling us back into talking about boring stuff like 3D printing.
I know, right?
But
and the thing about it is, I really want to do one of these with Chris here because Chris looks at things a lot different than say I do and you do. He looks at the hardware aspect a lot more than I do. I like looking at prints. I like looking at projects as a whole. I don't really get into how they're done. It's like when I talked to Making It with Luke, his little drawing thing that he did, the linear action thing. Dude, that was cool as hell to me. I don't want to know how it works. Chris does.
There was a lot of tables that had interesting stuff.
Well, and it's like the guy that had the tool changer that wasn't an E3D tool changer that had 13 different tool heads on it.
Yeah, that was the big pipe one that was next to Bennett.
Right. I mean, that was
giving Bennett a hard time because he brought a big plywood box, and the guy next to him bought a bigger plywood box.
Right. Yeah.
Chris is out sick, buddy. He's under the weather.
And there was a lot of prop people too that came with their props, 3D printed props, how they prepared them.
Oh, yeah.
That was cool.
The young woman with the Gears of War,
Devin.
she won the 1 hour.
That's right.
Contest, one benchy contest, and I think she just made a few minor changes to in Slicer and got it.
Yeah.
And some guy had this huge Thanos blade that everyone kept taking pictures. I don't know who that was. Who printed a Thanos blade?
I don't know. Is that the same person who should be getting the White Knight out for general?
Yeah, I think there is some kind of a connection.
Let me tell you something. I held that blade, and it was heavy.
Look, I saw this 18-foot long sword, but there was a Thanos blade there.
Oh, no. Oh, can I please share a story?
Yeah,
because I know he's not here. All right, and this was like the ultimate. So
wait, you want to share the story because he's not here?
Oh no, because I would love it if he was here. All right, because I just want to rub more salt into this situation. But so I'm helping him get the sword down and everything else. I want to make sure it's not broken, right? So I'm helping him out, and I'm all the way down. If you're looking at the sword, I'm at not the handle at the other end, right? So, and I'm right next to Mike, right? I'm like, all right, because he's got it's Mike, Joel, Sean, and Dave, his producer, right? And he looks at me. He goes, okay. He goes, a little bit more that way. I'm like, all right. A little bit more that way. I'm like, all right. I'm right at the end of the story. He's like, all right, just a little bit more. I'm like, oh, son of a. He wanted me out of the photo so he could fanboy next to Mr. Telling so bad. But what makes it even better, James is on the other end holding the thing like, hey, and just completely ruined it.
I photobombed probably 20 photos with Joel in it.
Oh, no, you got me with Amy and Sammy.
Yeah.
I'm looking in the background. I'm like, son of a gun. Good job. Yeah, exactly. Get out of the picture, Shane. No, just
fun.
A little bit more that way.
It was lots of fun, and you see so many inspirational things, and you just get motivated. You want to get back and get into the cave.
So now that you've done one of these, what's the likeliness that you'll be at the next one?
I definitely would like to be at the next one. I don't know if I want to drive 20 hours.
Oh no, fly.
So
yeah, but the problem with flying to Murph is you have to fly into Chicago and still drive 2.5 hours.
You can fly into Indianapolis.
Yeah.
You don't have to fly into Chicago.
I wanted to bring to Earth the my Hackintosh type of printer, which was I cut the Prusa frame in half, and
right.
It was actually my Prusa extended, but I'm glad I didn't, because they unveiled something much cooler there. So
no, you can't look at it that way. You can't look at it that way. You really can't, because listen, at any point that you say to yourself, "Oh, I have this, but that's cooler." No, that whole place is full of nothing but innovation. The amount of thought power in that building just blows me away.
Oh yeah.
I just feel like I thought I didn't know it was going to be unveiled, to be honest with you. So I thought they were going to unveil some XL. So I said, I'm bringing something extended. I'm like, so I said, let me leave that at home and see a proper XL the way it's done.
And then it turned out to be a Prusa Trunks EX1.
It's okay. It's okay. We're here for you.
Carl Suman said that Detroit is actually closer.
Yeah, Detroit, or I guess Detroit may be closer, but Indianapolis is probably the easiest one to drive from.
Well, I have decisions to make between now and Murph, because again, the FK1's got to go. So I either have to crate it and ship it, or I have to tow it up again. But Priscilla said that she's not going to Murph because Zach can't miss the school. So that's the hard part. I don't really want to drive up. And if she doesn't drive up, then I can't take the car because she doesn't like driving the truck, which means I have to drive the truck, which means I'm going to get 11 miles to the galley. At no more
Glenn,
than 5 miles an hour.
if you want to work it out, we can make it so that I come down and hook up with my truck and we can drive that way.
That might work. Because it may just be Xander and I.
Yeah, I mean, and I've got a crew cab truck, but it's got a 6-cylinder in it, so it'll be better on gas than probably your truck.
That might be a good option. Because the other offer I've gotten is to ship it to Uncle Ron and then ride with Uncle Ron from New York. But then that's flying to New York and still riding 11 and a half hours.
Right. Hey, I did want to tell you a story about a photo bomb before we get off of here, and I might have told you at Earth, but I was up top after getting me a slice of pizza, and I was watching, and there was this young guy who wanted a picture with Joel, right? And he stood in line, and Joel was over by the door, going out over by Protopasta there, and he's standing there, and he finally gets up there, and he's standing there with Joel, and Prusa comes running around and photo bombs. It's like, does his normal Prusa face, right? That guy turned around with he could have killed him. And he said, who in the was that? Like that. He was so mad. I mean, he was livid that somebody just ruined his picture with Joel Telling.
That's pretty funny.
It was crazy.
Sean Gold, I've actually considered doing just that, making it a absolute replica of the big one, but make it like 200 by 200 or 400 by 400, and make it way easier to transport.
Oh, well, no, because they're moving Michael Cassell. They're moving Murph, I think, to April, right?
Yeah, first weekend in April. So I mean, it'll still be cool, but
we should actually have less winter weather than we've had the last couple of years.
So, well, depending on what happens. I mean, winter started early this year, so
that's true. But we've driven the car up. We've driven the car up both Murphs and had no issues. So,
yeah. Well, I mean, we drove the car. I mean, it's all-wheel drive, but there wasn't enough snow to be an issue.
Right.
So I don't know. My other option is still taking the car, but renting my wife a car for the week. I looked at renting a van to put that thing in a van, but it's expensive to rent a van and drive it that many miles.
You need one of those Econoline ones.
I almost bought one. I almost bought a van a couple of days ago at auction, but it went for entirely too much money. I still want to buy an ambulance. I want to buy an ambulance, paint it black, put Fun King stickers on it.
There isn't any 3D printing vendors around that you can ship it to?
Yeah, CMC is right outside of Goshen.
I mean, might be an option.
So it's just I don't know how much it's going to cost to ship that thing. The crate is huge, and it's built like a crate. So check on Gov Deals. Yeah, I actually I poke around a lot on publicsurplus.com, and then we have another one which is George Gideon. I think it's George Gideon. I don't know. It's local here. They're only like 40 minutes away from here, and they auction all of the local government stuff off. So, because I looked at buying a school bus before Murph last year, but because they start at like $200, and sometimes they'll sell for like $1,500.
You're on the big school bus, right? A small one.
Oh, no, I was going to go for the big 50-footer with the handicap lift on the back, so that I could just roll the crate on and up and in. And I was going to turn it into an RV.
What was it? Reading Rainbow had the program with the book, like, what was it? The Books on Wheels? Was that them? You could have just done, STEM on wheels.
Yeah, no, I was going to turn it into an RV so I could sleep in it when we got there.
I love what Carl did with the White Knight. He sets a button and it just lowers
into the crate. Yeah, I don't have Carl's money.
No, please don't say that, because his ego is already.
I know, crazy. So.
If he gets any more compliments, there goes his head.
Tom Lama said, I found the perfect. I think that's supposed to be FK1 transport vehicle. I'll tweet you an image or link. Yeah, Neri's bought a bus.
Isn't he streaming?
All right, guys.
It's
Let's not
pretty-
appreciate
Whoa.
something.
You changed it.
yeah. Well, because we always run long. So, all right.
It's time for supper.
All right. Do your outro.
Hey, everybody, I'm Glenn from Fun King 3D. Don't come watch my YouTube channel because I'm not funny. I'm just old.
You're right. You're not funny. Oh,
I'm Walter, Country 3D. Y'all come check it out. Y'all come hang out. I should get back into streaming this week. I hope my energy level comes up a little bit because it ain't what it needs to be. But I'm everywhere at Country 3D, so I'll let the Three Stooges have it now.
yuck, yuck, yuck. Well, everybody, I am Glenn, and this is Fun King 3D, and that's the channel that you've been watching today. And I appreciate you guys being here. I appreciate our guest Shane and our guest Happy Extruder Ron. You guys got anything you want to say? Anything you want to promote?
Well, I'm Ron the Happy Extruder. You can catch me on the Happy Extruder on YouTube and at Happy Extruder 3D on Twitter. I have a upcoming project with Exoslide and an Ender 5 conversion. Plus, I'm adding some other vendor stuff on there, so that'll be coming out soon. And that's basically it. It's been a pleasure. To everyone I saw at Earth, thank you for stopping and taking a picture with me. And I'm looking forward to the next one. And it was awesome.
I have a question. Because you said you're Happy Extruder on YouTube, but you're Happy Extruder 3D on Twitter. Was there already a Happy Extruder on Twitter?
I think I couldn't get the word "duh" in there, so I gave up.
I'm just wondering what the other Happy Extruder would be on Twitter. Shane, you got anything?
Yeah, after getting that lovely image in my head. So, guys, I'm I don't have really Twitter now. I mean, that's the only thing I really use. So if you guys want to follow me, it's at Just Shane on Twitter. We're doing a YouTube channel, so I'll have that up and everything else. And I just want to thank each and every one of you guys. You know, I want to thank Glenn and Walter for allowing us on the show. I want to thank you guys for giving us our time. I want to thank everyone for the birthday wishes and for the wonderful, wonderful cupcakes provided by Mrs. Fun King.
And she baked those herself.
I'm still trying to come
Our
off the
oven's
sugar.
still busted from the lightning strikes. I was like, when I bought those.
It doesn't matter. It was the thought that counts. I don't care if she sat there like sand and everything. It would have been delicious just because of the simple thought. But yeah, but no, I just wanted to thank everyone for the well wishes and the support. And it's been absolutely amazing. This community is always, always just left me speechless. And I appreciate each and every one of you.
We love you, Shane.
And for me, I'm going to say it just like I say every week. We love each and every one of you guys out there for tuning in and watching these streams, because it would be useless to do these streams without you guys. And because we have such a fantastic audience, I think we were up to like 70 something or 80 something people today. That's the reason that we get guest stars, and that's exciting. And then, of course, from the bottom of my heart, a huge thank you for Robbie Mack for kicking over the $5. Better late than never. You're right, but at least you were here, and at least you did it, and it's always greatly appreciated. And now your name is going to appear up in the corner of the screen for a while until somebody else slips in. I don't know if I have anything else. I had a MakerBox video come out yesterday. I have another one coming out on Tuesday because I was a couple months behind, and I have October's video MakerBox coming out on Friday. And I am 99.99999%, which Xander would say that is a number, sure that there will be a video on Thursday as well.
Yes.
And that's what's happening back here on this printer. So that's exciting too. Other than that, I don't think I have anything. Thank you guys. We love each and every one of you. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.